So hello guys, welcome back once again in the another video of React Native. So in this video we will talk about useMemo. Before understanding of the useMemo, we should be knowledge about the cache memory, because useMemo works on the concept of the cache memory. So when CPU perform any operation, so CPU get the value from the memory. But when the CPU perform again the same operation, then the CPU get the value from the cache memory. Because when CPU perform again and again the same operation, so the value is stored inside the cache memory. So with the help of the cache memory, CPU performance is increased. So this is the concept of the cache memory, because cache memory reduce the time of calculation. So now go inside the concept of the useMemo. So actually we can use the useMemo in the React.js and React Native both. So if you don't have a React.js background, so don't worry, we can directly learn useMemo in the React Native. So useMemo actually a hook used for memoizing expensive calculations so that they are only recomputed when necessary. Performance optimization. So actually we use the useMemo for increase the performance. It's particularly useful in optimizing the performance of the component that render frequently or handle large amount of data. So we use the useMemo for performance optimization. So because it increase the performance of the component. And another use of the useMemo, we use avoiding unnecessary renders. So by memoizing values, you can prevent unnecessary re-renders of the component when the dependency have not changed. So all these things, how we can prevent the render, how we can increase the performance of the component. So all these things we will learn with the practical demo. So let's start. So useMemo we always use in the functional component. We don't use in the class component. So this is a functional component and I have declared here a value 1, value 2 and num. So here I declare already the useState variables, and so when I run the application, so the UI is looking like this. So here I am using a button, other click and other click 2. So these are the two buttons I am using here, and here I am just displaying the value of the val1 and val2, and here is the third button is the number click. I am showing here number click. So when I press the number click, so number is added by 5 and I am displaying the number inside the text. And another thing, I am using here a check data. So check data actually a variable, and inside this variable I am storing a function count number. So this is a count number function. This function we are storing inside the check data, and check data value I am displaying here. So this is the UI. So here we are not using a, so I am writing here function without useMemo. So we will learn without useMemo and with useMemo. So here we will also learn that why we should use the useMemo. So if you don't use the useMemo, so what should impact on the application, and when we use the useMemo, so how it increase the performance of the application. Suppose here I am not using the useMemo. So this function count number will be called when I click on the number click. So it will be called and it will increase the number 5, and this number will be display here. But when I click on the number 2, so you can see here again the count number is called here. Count number is called here, but the value of the check data is same. And again I click on the other click, so again the count number. So count number is called every time, but the other click is no relation. But this button is no relation with the count number, because here I am returning the number and here I am using val. So val is no relation with number, but when I am clicking on the other click, so this function is calling. So unnecessary this function is calling here, because when I am clicking on the number click, so number click actually increase the value of the number, and this number I am using inside this function. So I am using here num. I am returning here. So this will be returned when this loop will be complete. So suppose I add here two another zeros. Now this is a complex function, and now I again click on the number click. So you can see this is taking time, because when the loop will be complete, then the value will be increased. So if I click on the other click too, so you can see this is also taking time, because when this loop will be completed, then this function output will be returned. And when I'm clicking on any button, other click 2 and number, so in the all cases the loop is running. So this is the unnecessary rendering. So because here we need not call the count number every time when I'm clicking on the other click and other click too, we just want that when the number will be changed, then this function should be called. So for this we can use here a memo. Suppose now I show you that how we can use the same function with the memo. Suppose I comment this here and function with memo. So first of all, useMemo should be imported here. So I already imported useMemo in the React library, so now we can use it here. So here we can add useMemo. Here we can add a bracket like this, and here we can close the bracket, and here we can add the dependency. We can add that this function should be called when we click on the number. So when the number is changed, then this function should be called. So we can add here number like the useState, because in the useMemo we can perform and store the value as a cache. So we can use the useMemo here like useEffect, when this function should be called when the number will be changed. So now the count number is not a function. Now this is a variable, and we just call here like this. So I am just commenting this line, and this is a without useMemo, and this call is with useMemo. Now save this. So here is the without useMemo, we call it like a variable. So now save this and check on the simulator. Now I click on the other click. So the check data is called here, because this variable will be called in every time. But when I click on the number click, so it is a complex function and it's taking time, and the count number is called now, and 5 is stored inside and is showing here. But when I click on the other click, so the other operation is not affected. When I clicking on the other click and other click too, so they are performing fastly, but they are not taking time, because this function will be called only when we change the value of the number. So every time when you click on the other button, so here check data is printing value. So this value is printing here every time, because inside the count number 5 is stored. So this is the last value of the number. So useMemo is storing inside the count number. So when you click on the other buttons, so every time the useMemo returning here the 5. So like this you can stop the re-rendering and increase the performance of the application. So I hope this video is very helpful for understanding how we use the useMemo in the React Native. So if you have any doubt, any query, please let me know in the comment section. So if you like this video, please like, share and subscribe the channel. Thanks for watching.